into, and that is the one surrounding Andy Dalton. The Bengals released him yesterday, right during our show is when that news came across. He's a 9-year veteran, and you figure he should be in high demand amongst quarterback-needy teams. Could one of those be the Patriots? Well, let me bring in Mike Reese with a smile on my face, who covers the Pats, and I smile because, Mike, I'm going to talk you into signing a quarterback one way or the other if it's the last thing I do. I've been trying to push Cam Newton on you. You have no interest in that. How about Andy Dalton in New England?
Well, Greeny, everyone I talk to around the Patriots, it really comes back to two words, Jarrett Stidham. They are really intrigued to see what he can do. So specific to Andy Dalton, I didn't get any sense from anyone around the Patriots that when he became available yesterday, that there was an aggressive push to sort of see where that would lead. If anything, it would be a conversation of due diligence and really asking the question, how would bringing in a player like Dalton supplement what they have in Stidham, not supplant him? And that's knowing they also have veteran Brian Hoyer in the room, who they really feel comfortable with as well.
So I guess for those who have not been watching all week and have not heard you all week long, it really sounds like they've made a decision, a firm decision, because if Cam's available and they're not biting, and if Dalton's available, they're not biting, they've made the decision. Their starting quarterback this year is going to be Jarrett Stidham.
Well, Greeny, I will say this. They're not going to say that because, one, they don't want to put the pressure on him. It's only his second year. And two, there is still a blind spot there for the Patriots. Until a quarterback actually goes out and does it, you do need to protect yourself. And so I think the way they look at it is every decision that they're going to make is to try to put Stidham in the best position to succeed, and they protect themselves with the veteran insurance policy behind him in Brian Hoyer.
All right, Mike Reese, outstanding. Have a great weekend, my man. Great to see you, as always. I'll bring my guys back here. D. Wood, you began your career playing there at the beginning of Brady. Now they're at the beginning of whatever comes next. So with the players that are available now, Andy Dalton, Cam Newton, do you believe the Patriots should be interested in them?
Well, I mean, theoretically, you would think so, but I just think that the Patriots are a different model than any other organization in the National Football League. Their culture. I think the one thing that's helping Jarrett Stidham is the fact that he was there last year watching Tom Brady, saw everything. He knows the Patriot way. And with this truncated offseason, it just doesn't make sense, even for a veteran guy to be in that position. So I just don't see the Patriots signing either one of those guys.
Marcus, should they sign Andy Dalton?
Yes, they should. And they should because, geez, listen, this has been, to Woody's point, the Patriots do a better job of protecting their quarterback than anybody in the NFL. We've seen that in recent history. Andy Dalton could possibly go to New England and win. Andy Dalton has been to the playoffs in Cincinnati. So it's not like Andy Dalton hasn't played good football throughout a 9-year career that he's had. He's been with the organization, got stale. Obviously, Joe Burrow came in, they thought was an upgrade over him. But when you look at how New England has built themselves and built their team, you don't need a superstar quarterback to come in. But if I could get a guy with 9 years of experience compared to a guy that's never played a down in significant games, you damn right I'm going to sign him. So, yes, New England should sign Andy Dalton with no question.
I guess one of the things I see people wondering, Damien Woody, just how good is Andy Dalton?
Well, listen, I think Andy Dalton is an average quarterback at best at this point, at this juncture in his career now, albeit he played with the Cincinnati Bengals organization that's nowhere near on par with the Patriots. But listen, if we're going to go just off of experience, he has a plethora of experience compared to Jarrett Stidham. But my whole point is, it's the culture, it's being in that building that gives Jarrett Stidham the advantage. And I think the Patriots, the fact that they're strapped by the salary cap and that Jarrett Stidham has been in this organization, I think the Patriots are good going forward with Jarrett Stidham as a starting quarterback.
All right, and then one last thing I would like to say, because everyone on Twitter is saying it. Just put that one shot back up there, if you would, Kalen, of Damien Woody, because everyone is saying it. Of all the people at ESPN, no one has a better home setup than Damien Woody does. He's holding chariot racing later today after he's finished with all of his appearances on television. Right, Marcus? I mean, is there anything in the world like where Damien Woody is sitting right now?
Gee, we don't have to go to the Coliseum. We can just go to Woody's house.
But you're sitting in front of a brick wall, and Damien Woody is sitting like...
Are you not entertained?
That's quite a juxtaposition. Long term with Love. whether LaFleur liked it or not. A first-round quarterback, in theory, wouldn't help LaFleur get over the hump one iota. But how could a young coach fight it? The answer, he couldn't or he didn't. Here's more from Rob himself earlier this morning on Get Up.
I'm told the Packers love the very top of the receiver class, but the only one they had any realistic shot at was LSU's Justin Jefferson. But once he went off the board to the Vikings at number 22, that's when Gutekunst really zeroed in on Love. The more he watched him, the more he thought he had the potential, Greeny, to be a rare combination of Brett Favre's gunslinging, Aaron Rodgers' intelligence, and a Patrick Mahomes-like athleticism.
So that obviously is quite the remarkable comparison to be making. And Damien Woody and Marcus back here. D. Wood, I've not had you on all week, so I've not had a chance to get your reaction. What do you make, just big picture, especially with the information we just picked up this morning about the way this thing is handled and the way it's going to go in Green Bay?
Well, first of all, when I watched the draft, I was shocked. I think I was stunned just like everyone else. You're talking about Aaron Rodgers, albeit his play has been slipping the past couple of years. This team was in the NFC Championship game. So you think that projecting forward, okay, the Green Bay Packers need receivers. Help this man out towards the end of his career, get him some receivers. And for them to pick Jordan Love, and I'm not trying to disparage Jordan Love at all, because I think he is a good prospect, but Aaron Rodgers, he just signed an extension. So you go out as a GM and you get Jordan Love, and to me, this signals the end. The clock is ticking on Aaron Rodgers right now. Yeah. He might have 2020, and then after that, I think he could be gone. I think the Packers will swallow up that $31 million cap hit in 2021 because you can't afford to waste this rookie contract.
That's quite a meal to swallow there, D. Wood. Even you might walk away from the table at some point with the amount of money they would have to eat in order to make that happen. So, Marcus, that's the point I keep trying to make through this, is that this thing may not end well, but it's also not going to end soon. So what's it going to be like now?
Gee, it's a bad situation. Like, I mean, we can talk about this in so many varying ways, and we can get deep down into football and talk about what this means on the field. But we know the most important player in the locker room, especially when he's being considered one of the greatest of all time in Aaron Rodgers. We know that this dynamic is different than most other locker rooms that exist. You have 3 or 4 guys in the NFL at quarterback that you don't want to piss off. You don't want to disgruntle. We saw what happened with Tom Brady. Not saying that his wasn't played out publicly, but obviously him leaving for Tampa had something to do with the relationship. We talked about that for months. We look at this situation with Green Bay. It's not good for Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay to have a good working relationship based on what they did. Now, if there's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about and they feel like they have the talent, or Aaron Rodgers feels like his wide receiving core needs more time and they can be really, really good this year, that's a different conversation. But the fact that you drafted a quarterback to tell Aaron Rodgers and signal to him that this is almost over for you in Green Bay is not going to sit well when you still need Aaron Rodgers to win games. So it's one of those age-old things we see in sports where the clock is ticking and it happens faster than the guy think it's going to happen, and now the relationship will be sour because of that. That's just the bottom line. It will be a sour relationship.
Yes, and for both of you guys, I've also had some more time to think about one of the things Rob Demovsky told us earlier was that as the draft went on, a record 36 receivers were taken. They never took a single one, and that's because all the guys they liked got taken ahead of them. Denzel Mims, who the Jets drafted, went 3 picks ahead of them. Well, somehow, Marcus, they prioritized taking Love enough to move aggressively, to trade up and get him. But they didn't prioritize the receiver enough to move aggressively, trade up and get him. That's another thing that just sort of I've been thinking about since Demovsky said it earlier.
Well, they brought in Funchess. They have St. Brown and Valdez Scantling in that receiver room along with Devontae. Some of those guys may develop. Funchess has had some up and down moments to get into the football part. But, gee, another thing I want to say, all of these guys that he said he thought Jordan Love was, why the hell he ain't going to take him at the first pick? If I got a mix of all of those people, I'm going to take him at the first pick in the quarterback. And he wouldn't have ever got to Green Bay if everybody else would have thought he was that damn good.
That's exactly right. Damien, I need a one-word answer. Yeah, who will win? Who is the favorite right now in the NFC North going into this season?
Green Bay.
Okay, so it's still the Packers. Okay, fair enough. So we'll leave it there for the moment. We'll do more on this as we go, but I got another quarterback situation for you guys.